Hello, welcome back. Hope everybody had a great weekend. So, we're going to get started with our next topic, and that is called Worthiness, how to romanticize your life because you're the main character. Okay, I've seen this multiple times, but the reality is you can't live your life as player two. You shouldn't, and there's just no reason to. When you close your eyes and let's say you were going to dream about your future, you might see yourself like in a really nice car. You might see yourself looking really nice in a nice outfit. You might be on a date. You might be on vacation. You might be, doing whatever. But whenever you close your eyes and you dream about your own future, it's not like you're a backup character in somebody else's life. You see yourself running on the beach. You see yourself driving the fast car, the Bugatti, right? You see yourself doing that. Y'all excuse my voice, I'm a little hoarse. But at the end of the day, whenever you close your eyes and you decide to dream, when you look forward to the future, you are the main character. There's a saying, and it's by Confucius, and he says, when you're thinking about the past, you can be sad, and when you're thinking about the future, you can be happy, and when you're in the present, you're at peace, or something along those lines. And if you were to be happy in your happiest moments looking towards the future, you would not see yourself as a supporting cast member in somebody else's life, right? It would be you on the date with the wonderful guy. It would be you on the date at some really nice restaurant or some really nice fabulous place, dressed impeccably, right? It's always about you. It's not really about other people. And I've seen this more than once, and it's kind of sad, but there are people who live their life as player two, right? Every day they wake up, they're so miserable because they're not putting themselves first. And they're also living their life in a way where they are being told what to do by other people to the point that they're the supporting roles in those other people's lives. I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a man and he's really wealthy, right? And he has a wife and she bends over backwards, right? Completely bends over backwards. Anything he needs, she does. Anything he asks for, she does. Even if he doesn't ask it, she does it. It gets to the point where he doesn't respect her. He belittles her even in front of company. He mistreats her even in front of the children, to the point that if she were to even tell the children no, they would just go tell their dad, you know what I'm saying, on her, and then they would get their way. So it gets to this point where she's become the supporting role even of her own life. Like, she's her husband's wife, she's her children's mother, she's the family's errand girl, but she's not the wife of the family. This is not, oh, she's the matriarch, or, oh, wow, his wife is so incredible. It's all about, wow, that's her husband's wife. Oh, yeah. And there's nothing wrong, with being support for your mate. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's a balance between supporting someone you're in a relationship with so that you can accomplish the next goal, or be there for their goal and so they can be there for yours, versus like almost a one-sided loyalty. If you think about a movie where there's multiple people and there's a main character, there's definitely people who don't do anything. The people walking in the street at the cafe scene, or the couple that orders a coffee in the cafe scene, it's not about them. The movie's not about them. You don't care about their names. You don't care where they're from. You don't care about their backstory, because it's not about them. They're just filler. You know what I mean? They're just filler in the main character story. And you don't want to be that, okay? You don't want to be that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into a couple of things that you can do to help yourself romanticize your life and find your own personal value, right? Value is the kind of thing where you have to set it yourself. Okay, so what do you need to do first? First, you got to romanticize your life. And you have to start with that worthiness that I was talking about. Your worthiness is a value, and it is set by you. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Your worthiness is a value that is set by you. If all you feel like you deserve is just an average person, or all you feel like you deserve is just the bare minimum from somebody, be it a friend, be it a romantic relationship, be it a familial relationship, right? There are people whose parents treat them so badly, and they do everything for their family, and that's nothing's wrong with being there for your family, but it comes to the point where where's your balance? Are you literally just the couple ordering the coffee in the coffee shop while the spies are planning the big mission? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to live the rest of your life as somebody else's something? Or are you going to be yourself and then have a relationship with someone that is themselves, and so that you all can be two individual people that have come together to create something even better, right? And in the name of relationships, I can give you an example, whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, or whatever. There are people who need you. Right? They need you for the answers. They need you for support. They need you for encouragement. They need you. Okay? Without them, they wouldn't be able to thrive on the level that they're thriving. But instead of saying, thank you, I appreciate you for being my support system, thank you, I appreciate you for being there for me, thank you, they will put you down. They will put you down while simultaneously asking you for help. Can you imagine if all you needed was oxygen, and there was a room full of oxygen, and somebody was like, oh, you need some oxygen? You can go in the room. And you're like, no, I don't need oxygen or whatever. They just think there's so much. They're just gassy. Like, what? Like, that doesn't even make sense. How do you need something and then put that thing down? It doesn't make sense. However, this is the reality of the world. There are people who don't want you to know your value. They don't want you to romanticize your life. They don't want you to love yourself, love your life, love your being, love your embodiment. They want to put you down, but also need your help. That is crazy. So our first step is that we have to start with our worthiness. We have to decide what are we worth, and we have to decide what we'll take, right? The next thing is people who will copy your style and use you as a reference for their level up, all while putting you down. I'll give you an example. If you are a person and you dress elegantly, right, and you carry yourself well, and you're doing the best you can, and you're putting your best foot forward, there are people who are like, oh, look at you, her being happy and dressing well and all these kind of things. They're haters, right? But it goes back to the same thing. They need you as a reference. You're actually helping them level up, but they will never give you the credit for you. They will put you down. They will talk about you. And if you need another list of things to help to do when you're dealing with this type of person, please check out my last episode on the 3 types of haters to beware of. But that's a type of person, right? They'll put you down, and it's just like, it's almost like if you knew your true value, then they wouldn't even be able to get over on you. If you truly knew what you were worth and you defined it for yourself and no one could take it from you, they wouldn't even be able to position to make you feel any kind of way, make you feel triggered, make you feel bad, make you feel sad. Okay? Because why are they doing this? The answer is simple. They need you to feel like you are worthless. They have to have you in a place of low vibration or low frequency and darkness. They need you to constantly think about the past. Yeah, well, I shouldn't do that because the last time I tried, well, one time when I wanted to be something and then I did my best, but it didn't work out, right? For me, I define worthiness not as how many wins or how many losses I make at a moment, but how many wins and how many losses have I made in the name of perfection. I know that's crazy, but this is where I think. If I'm the kind of person and I say, I have done something right 5 times in a row and then I mess up, well, my standard of perfection is at least I can accomplish 5 things, right? Cool. Then the next time you get over that hump, let's say you accomplished 7 things. Perfect. You got dressed. Your everything was exactly what you wanted to wear. It was exactly how you wanted it to be. It was perfect. You went to an event. You had a great time. Everybody loved what you were wearing. Everybody loved your personality. Everybody loved your spirit. Strike 2. You went to an after party. Everybody thought you were awesome. You got up and danced. The finest guy in the party, the richest man in the party, whoever got up and danced with you, he loved you. You were Cinderella. Perfect moment. You came home. You did a nighttime routine. Blah, 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 blah. You did your skincare. Went to bed. Perfect. You got a good night's sleep. Perfect. The next day you get up and then you forgot to do your morning routine. Okay, not perfect. You've done 5 things in a row. And then now you have to reset. You have to change. You have to upgrade. You have to level up, whatever. But that's how I dictate my worthiness. I could do so many things perfect and then I mess up. So for me, I am not a loser just because I lose. Everybody wins, everybody loses. But in general, I have more wins than I have losses. Therefore, I am a winner, right? I can accomplish so many things in a row perfectly, and then I'll mess up. Because the reality is perfection is a moving target, and nobody's perfect, so we can't ever attain perfection for like ever. But there's a level where that's how I measure worthiness. You might measure worthiness differently, but once you define it for yourself, no one can ever take it away from you, and you'll know what you deserve. Hey, I'm the kind of person who can do at least 5 things in a row perfectly. If you can only do 2, that's not for me to put you down, but if you can only do 2, you really can't talk about me. You can only do 2 things in a row perfectly before you mess up. And I hate that when you're near me and I can do 5 things in a row perfectly before I mess up, which is, it's not even a lot of things to be honest, but it's the way I measure my value. And somebody's trying to put me down, and I'm looking at them like, wow, they're putting me down, but they can only do 2 things perfectly before they mess up. Or even if they are putting me down, what I have found in my experience is that people who can do anything and do every activity, every lesson, every blessing, every spiritual whatever, if they get to the point where they have more perfect shots, I guess, than me, and they've taken more perfect opportunities or opportunities to be perfect, and they can do more in a row than I can, they don't usually put me down. It's the people who really do less than me that are trying to put me down. And that's what's interesting, right? The second thing you need to do is, if you're busy moving in silence and you're not telling people anything and you're paying people dust, you're not getting triggered, right? You're not doing anything like that would cause you any kind of any unnecessary attention, then in the name of worthiness, you have to be aware of people's patterns. Sometimes people change, and it's not to say that people can't change, but people change because you're changing, right? But your pattern has always been the same. If you're a person and you're changing, you're becoming better, and then when you were younger, you changed and you became better, and then you were younger and you became better, and then there was one time where you kind of went backwards a little bit, okay? But now maybe you're back on your level up journey. Maybe you're back on this path of accelerating excellence, this path of striving for excellence. Even if it's your first time doing your best to get to this point, that means you're perfect, right? If you've tried twice and then failed once, you've got 2-to-1 ratio. You're still winning, right? You have to decide and figure out your patterns. Well, the opposite goes for other people when you're paying attention to their patterns. There are people who will lie, and they will be mean, and they will be rude, and sometimes, they might make you cry or break your heart, and then you come back to them. And then this person makes you feel bad, they belittle you, they put you down, you cry, and then you go back to them. Well, you can change, okay? You might decide, hey, this is enough, I'm going to change, whatever. But I guarantee you, if you look across your patterns, across your life, you've always been the person that once you decide you're going to become better, you change. That's your pattern. That's your overarching pattern. Your pattern is not, oh, I cry, and then I go back to them. That's something that happened, okay? What are your patterns? And then once you decide your patterns, it can help you kind of figure out other people's patterns. Some people's patterns are just really, really, really outrageous. There's a quote, and it made me think about something kind of funny, but there's a quote, I think it's by Robert Greene, in his book about like masterminds or geniuses. He says people can change their habits, but people can't change their patterns. You can change your habit. Your habit might be, oh, I go back to this person. That's a habit. But your pattern is, I always do my best. I always give my best. I always want the best for myself and other people. And so even in your process of going back to this person, maybe they hurt your feelings, your pattern is that you always do your best for yourself and others. So once you figure out what your patterns are, you can change your habits. Okay, you can change your habits. It's not a big deal. Another big remedy is holistic self-care. Holistic self-care, and you can do this in many ways, but holistic self-care is when you decide to take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit, right? You're not just going to be really, really, really rich and really, really overweight with a horrible attitude. You're not going to be just really, really fit and really pretty, but broke and need and have no morals or no scruples, right? You want to have holistic healing. You want to have holistic self-care. For your mind, think about words of affirmations, right? Or celebrating the small wins. Maybe you're on your journey to perfection. You're striving for perfection. You can never actually reach it, but you're striving, and you might say, okay, I can have 50 small wins before I have a loss. Okay, so as you're doing this, every time you have a small win, celebrate it. Wow, I remember to make my bed up. I remembered to do my morning routine, and I remembered to make sure that I had positive affirmations for my day. Okay, cool. That's 3 things in a row. You are celebrating those small wins. Wow, I did 3 things perfectly. I'm happy. You might mess up on the 4th time. However, you should celebrate the fact that you're at 3 perfect wins. That's incredible. Some people aren't at 2. So you're at 3. Enjoy that. Some people are at 4. Enjoy that. Some people haven't even started. Every time they do something, they mess up. Have you met those people? And they'll tell you, oh, wow, it's like I know the right thing to do, but it's like I just do the opposite. Somebody told me that once. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane, right? But that's where people are. So thinking about your mind and how to holistically heal yourself, or how to give yourself holistic self-care, words of affirmation, celebrating those small wins, right? Sometimes our worthiness is dictated so much by how we feel. Like I was saying earlier, if you lose, it doesn't make you a loser. It just means you went through a loss. If you win, it doesn't just automatically make you a winner. It just means you went through a win. You have to consistently win, right? Or you have to have more wins than you have losses. That is the way that works, right? When it comes to your body, find an exercise program that fits you. If it's YouTube videos, you might do Zumba or just dance with headphones in until you break a sweat. You might also find that getting a personal trainer might be what you need to do. Some people have to be told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, whatever, in order to accomplish their goals, especially if they're wanting to achieve something that's a little outside the realm of normal, right? I think to be fit is pretty easy to an extent, right? Eat healthy, move your body. But if you're trying to get some specific goals, you want to be a certain level of chiseled, you want to be a certain level of whatever, then you might need to go that extra step and get you a trainer or get you a nutritionist, right? Another thing you can do is you can eat better, right? Even if it means, like if you go out to fast food, like it's not a big deal to eat fast food. There's so many people who are like, oh, you go to fast food, don't eat fast food, you're going to be fat. It's not a big deal to eat fast food. If you got a Chick-fil-A, get a salad, right? You don't have to get a chicken sandwich and fries and ice cream. Like, just get a salad. It's still Chick-fil-A. It's still chicken. You're still at a fast food restaurant. You might be too tired. You might need to swing by and pick something up. People might be going for lunch. It's not a big deal. Just get a salad. Or just a healthier option. Instead of burgers and fries, maybe you try like a sub sandwich or whatever. Just constantly making healthy decisions. Consistent small wins will get you there, right? You might decide to have fruit instead of like cookies, right? Just consistent small wins. I almost can't stress it enough. Consistent small wins, and celebrate and honor those small wins. For your soul, you might think about meditation, having 30 minutes or however long you need. It could be as little as 5 minutes to just relax. If you have Apple Music or YouTube or whatever, sometimes I just turn on like rain sounds. I love rain sounds. They calm me down. They allow me to just breathe. I just like that sound of rain hitting the ground or rain hitting windows. It's just, I don't know, it does something for me. And I take a few minutes and I just listen to that and I sit still within myself, right? Prayer, spiritual journal prompts about yourself, either in a spiritual way, like, okay, this is good deeds, or what makes a person a good person, and my own definition of a good person, right? Religious scriptures. There are people who have little scriptures on their phones, right? And every day they'll get a notification for like the scripture of the day or the word of the day, right? So however you need to go about holistically taking care of yourself, you need to do that. A lady told me once, she said, you don't want to be a tree with one good branch. If you can imagine a tree, it's in full bloom and there's fruit on it and everything like that, you're like, wow, that's a beautiful big tree. But if you saw a tree and every branch was dead except for one branch, it had one apple on it, you'd be like, wow, what happened to that tree? Yeah, it's got a piece of fruit on one branch, but it's like the rest of the tree is dying. So you are that tree. People are plants. You are that tree. How can you become the person you need to be if you don't take care of your whole self? Like I said, you don't want to be the person that's super wealthy but super exhausted because you work yourself to death, or you're super wealthy but you're overweight and you're not confident and you don't feel happy, right? So make sure that you are taking care of yourself holistically. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I hope you've enjoyed the topic for the day. Please leave any comments or any questions you have down below. I would love to hear from you. And as always, until next time, goodbye.